water run out of the creek into a barrel, and you stood under a barrel. And you could take a shower and look up in the tree, there'd be an old iguana sitting there looking at you, his tongue sticking out, you know. Which we learned to ignore them. Eleanor decided to come down the island later on with her party. We had to cover our showers, put curtains around them where we wouldn't show. And we had USO shows and everything there. In that one place I was there about 18 months, I think. And from there we got on ships and went to all different places, you know. Even the PT boat, Kennedy's outfit, was stationed on an island that was 22 miles from our island, which was Guadalcanal. Their island was, anyway, they would bring our mail over there. I don't know how they got the mail, whether it dropped to them or what. That island was called. Can't remember anyway. Anyway, from there, we just wasn't long after that I got to go home. I come home. It was winter time. I went to North Carolina, and it was colder than hell. We'd spent all our time the last 3 or 4 years in the South Pacific, and we went to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Wasn't number tents then. Everybody gathered in the head the next morning, though, because that was a warmer place in the place. All that bodies and all that excess waste was warm, so. But it took a long time to get smart enough. We just took the newspaper and we slept in cots. Put the newspaper in the cot and then put our little thin mattress on top of the newspaper. Keep the temperature inside at the bottom. Anyway, stayed there a while. I come home on furlough. We had quite a good time in North Carolina. We'd go out and square dance all night, stay warm. Come back in the morning for reveille. Steal enough gasoline to go the next night. After that, I went back overseas. And at about the time I got over there, wasn't there long. Everything was all over. The war was all over. And then it was all a mass confusion to get everybody back to the States and dispose of all that equipment. We put millions of dollars equipment on barges and put them out to sea and sunk them with the equipment tied down on cranes and trucks, tractors, everything imaginable. Millions of dollars worth of equipment. Go back to the States, and I did all kind of numerous things. After I got back to the States, I had a 30-day furlough. And I re-enlisted in the Marine Corps. Then I was getting about 17 years old, 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. All I would do is have a big time. Went to the station in San Francisco, a place called 100 Harrison Street, and everything went out of there. Orders to go pick up some guy somewhere and escort him to his family back as far as. I made one trip to Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia, cold and hell. Carried this poor bastard up the hill, and they buried him, and we went back with the family and consoled them that night, and then left, come on back to San Diego. And I got one more, and that's all I had. That one was someplace in Oklahoma, I don't remember where. But anyway, it was the same way with that. But it wasn't real cold on that one. Then I started driving a truck and I hauled tanks from San Francisco to Barstow, California, with a tank retriever. And then I come back to San Francisco and I delivered a car to Dallas, Texas, Plymouth. And when I got to Dallas, Texas, they put me in as a mechanic in what was called the Japanese Samar exhibit. We went in all the major cities and county fairs west of the Mississippi River. It was a semi-trailer had all the models of ships and airplanes and uniforms and weapons and all in this trailer. We drove. You'd go around the county fairs and things set up, and people would join and look around, look at it, and we went from everywhere in the world. Anyway, one time we wound up in Wichita, Kansas, and that's where I met my wife. We were set up at the side of the street, and she rode by in a 41 Pontiac convertible. Boy, it was sharp. I said, "Why don't you stop and see our exhibit?" She says, "There's no place to park." I said, "Make the block and I'll have a place for you to park." So she came around together. She parked, just lifted the rope up. She rode in there, parked, went in the exhibit. And while she was in there, I sat down in the rope car and started up, and it would die, you know. I asked her how she liked it. She said it was all right, except it died every time she pulled up to a stop sign. I said, "Well, I'd fix that real quick." So I raised the speed a little bit on her carburetor. It was all right then. We went out that night, and she was mine from then on, or vice versa. Anyway, from there we went to San Francisco. They established the UN. We were escorts for people, from different countries. I brought a Chinese general, so we escorted them around. Took them to North Dakota for a pheasant hunt, to get all that back. And I finished up on the Samar exhibit. We stacked it. The next year, my wife and I took a house trailer and a truck, panel truck. We put a Jeep in the back of the panel truck and then hooked the trailer up. Anyway, we went all over the central part of the United States, Colorado, Nebraska, and Wyoming, that part of the world. From there, it was recruiting duty. I did a stint with the recruiting duty. In the meantime, my wife got pregnant, and we had a son in Des Moines, Iowa. We were there for about a year, and then I got out of the Marine Corps. I decided there still were no jobs around. So I got back in the service. I went in the Army, where we could go to Europe. So we just did in the Army in Germany about a year. We had a daughter born in Germany, Heidelberg, Germany. Our quarters were in Karlsruhe, Germany. From there, I went back to the States, to places around the East Coast, different kinds of things, and I never could really get settled in the Army. Just a different, whole different organization than the Marine Corps. It was 180-degree difference. But anyway, I went to Korea and went through the thing in Korea. come back to the States. And they sent me to the station at Fort at Killeen, Texas. I can't remember the name of it now. It's a big fort, probably the biggest fort U.S. Army is to this day. Went there, got out of the service there. That was the end of it. All during my wartime, I was on front lines. We was never an organization. We had to defend it from the enemy or anything like that. They had nuisance bombings sometime during the night. They said the thing was to keep us all awake 24 hours a day. Got to where it sounded alarm, everybody crawl in their hole and go back to sleep. But they didn't. Our camp never did get a bomb dropped on it. But we could see them going flying along the shore, and the Bettys looked like they were just barely moving, and the aircraft just all kind of shell. But anyway, it was a good experience. I'm not sad I did any of it. I guess I enjoyed it. Probably to be a serviceman, you ought to be a bastard your mother did, I think. You know, you shouldn't have a family. Because family gets shoved around just like you do. And if you get shoved around from one place to the other, they follow. My wife followed with 2 kids. And we just decided that the service wasn't no place for me, so I got out. Probably a big mistake, but anyway, I got out. That was the end of it.
So you were on Guadalcanal, Guam.
I spent time in Guadalcanal, Guam, New Caledonia, Bougainville. Bougainville, that's where Kennedy was with his PT boats. Kennedy, we would go back and forth over there. We never spent the night over there. We'd go work on that strip. There's another place up in there, south of Bougainville. Can't remember the name of that. We'd in there and we'd repair the airfields. The Japanese making a little airfield, you know, and land their planes there for some service. About that time, we'd find out about it, the scouts would, and then we'd bomb it, and we'd repair it where our place could use it. But that's mostly airfield construction. That's about it. We had some good times and bad times. Mostly remember the good times.
Thank you, Papa.
Yeah, my pleasure. So they can make anything out of that.
Oh yeah. So you joined the Marine Corps after Pearl Harbor? Before Pearl Harbor.
War started, I joined in August.
And then the war was started in December.
In December. I think it was about the 23rd of August. Rich got the paper.
Yeah, it's on the paper.
23rd of August.
Yeah,
Is
something.
that what it is?
I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look again. I was looking at it a while ago.
And you got your, where did you get your Purple Heart, Papa?
Oh. New Caledonia. Well, I was got it at Guadalcanal. Yeah. We were these tractors were rigged up. We had all the air, the air intake pipes, so all the way up in the air, and where they could run the engine. Everything was sealed on the engine, where the air could come from way above the water. got a fan down there running, you can't do that, you see, so you had to take the fan off. Didn't take the fan off, we took the fan belt off and laid it over in behind the thing, just kinda, and taped it up or wired it up to the block. Well, you take that tape, put it back on, the belt back on, and, I was putting mine old tractor in like I was afraid the battery wouldn't have enough stuff there to start again, so I left it idle. And I put the fan belt on with it engine idling. Switched onto the block down here, and then put it over, and I got it on, and the fan was going, I pulled my hand out, and I got nicked. So the fan blade right there. Just nicked. You barely see a scar there now. Glove was doing this, you know. I was sitting there looking at it. Now Corman come along and said, oh, put a some kind of Band-Aid over it. Got a special name for it. Anyway, put the Band-Aid over it, took my name, and that was it. And then I got that name. New Zealand. So they gave me there. I was there with malaria and dengue fever. Before I was transferred from there to hospital in Honolulu, which was I can't remember the name of that hospital, but anyway, just above the Marine Corps, there was a naval hospital at that time. It was an established hospital in Honolulu in civilian times, and the Navy took it over, I guess. And I was there, and then from there I got to go home for a stretch.
So you went from Guadalcanal to New Zealand, and then New Zealand to Honolulu, and New Zealand to the States?